Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gemma, and we're going to talk about the most exciting readathon of the year. So when I started my channel 12 months ago, one of the things that pushed me to do that was this readathon, the Women in Translation readathon, which takes part in August. August is Women in Translation month, where if the clue's not in the title, you read books that are written by women in another language. The reality is that in the UK only 5% of fiction is translated, the other 95% is written in English. So this month is really about supporting translated literature, and of that 5%, only a third of it is written by women. So women writing in different languages are the minority of the minority. So we're going to celebrate them all month, and I find this very exciting. So as you probably know, if you've watched any of my videos before, I really love learning about different cultures and different people who have different experiences to me, and there's no better way to do that than to read translated fiction. And so 3 amazing creators every year host the Women in Translation Readathon. The dates for this readathon are the 8th to the 14th of August, though I will be just picking up translated works all through August as much as I physically can. And the hosts are Matthew Scriappa, Kendra Winchester, and insert literary pun here. So I will link all their channels and the announcement videos below. They do have 3 prompts and a group read. So I will talk through the 3 prompts, the books that I'm planning to read for those, and what the group read is. And then at the end I have got some recommendations of videos and booktubers that you can check out if you are looking for more recommendations on translated literature in general and translated literature by women. So let's just do this, shall we? The first prompt is to read a book in a language you have read before. So last year for Women in Translation month I read Tender as the Flesh by Agustina Bazterricca. That book was amazing, and Agustina Bazterricca is an Argentinian author, so writes in Spanish, and so I thought I'd go for another Argentinian writer this year, and I'm going to read Elena Knows by Claudia Pineiro. That book is translated by Riddle and was shortlisted, definitely longlisted, possibly also shortlisted for the International Booker Prize this year, and everybody has been raving about it. And I believe this is about a woman whose daughter dies and she has to try and figure out what's happened. So it's sort of murder mystery but literary, and I think the mother may have some sort of degenerative condition that means that it's quite difficult for her to get out and track down the clues as to what happened to her daughter. So yeah, but like I say, I have heard nothing but positive praise about this book, so I really want to prioritise it and get to it in August. The next prompt is to revisit a book that you've already read, but I'm relatively new to translated fiction. I've only really been actively seeking it out for probably about 18 to 24 months, so there wasn't anything I really wanted to reread, so I'm twisting this prompt and putting in a book here that is a book that I meant to read in June, and that is S by Slavenca Draculic and translated from the German by Marco Ivic. So I'm going to be buddy reading this with Fraser Simons, and I originally saw this recommended on Kieran at KD Books channel, so I will link his original review below. But this is basically the story of the Balkan War, specifically what happened, the atrocities that happened to the women in Bosnia and Croatia, Yugoslavia as it was. So yeah, I think this is going to be pretty affecting, horrific in places, but I think it is an important novel. It's certainly a war that I know very little about, so I definitely need to educate myself further on it. So yeah, I will be picking this one up in August. The next prompt is to read a book that gives you joy, and could I pick any other book than the book that was gifted to me by Jacket Spread Bookjoy? So a few weeks back, Jack read The Restaurant of Love Regained by Ito Ogawa, which is translated from the Japanese by David Karashima. And she read it and she said it was a little bit like a wholesome Japanese version of Chocka by Joanne Harris, and she said it was just really quite heartwarming and lovely, and so she sent me her copy, and she also, along with it, sent me this beautiful card with loads of books on it that she spent ages picking out to find one that had books that I'd like on it, and wrote me a lovely message. So all of that fills me with joy, and I think this is supposed to be quite, like I say, quite heartwarming, which is not my usual go-to book. So I'm going to give this one a go and have hopefully some happy vibes in August to balance out the not so happy vibes. So those are the 3 prompts, and then the group read is a book that I had never heard of before but sounds intriguing, and that's Fieldwork in Ukrainian Sex by Usana Zabuchko, translated by Halina Hurin. I will be honest, I haven't even looked into the premise of this because I wanted to go into it completely blind just based on that title, and I think it's supposed to be a bit weird, but it's really short. It's like 150 pages or something, so I would definitely be trying to get to this one. It is also on Kindle Unlimited, so if anyone else wants to join in, it's readily available. So I will also be reading that. I will try and fit some more translated fiction in if I can, but as many of you will be aware, I am a serial overcommitter, and I am also going to be participating in 2 other readathons, plus my TBR game, which will be coming whatever the last Tuesday or Saturday of the month is. And so yeah, there's 4 there. I will definitely try and get to those. If I can read more, then I will. So as promised at the beginning of the video, I'm just going to mention a few places where you can find some fantastic translated fiction recommendations. So last week, Sean, the book maniac, did his TBR for this readathon, and he had loads of books in there that I'd never even heard of, and I always find recommendations of sort of off the beaten track books from Sean, but particularly for this translated fiction month, I would highly recommend you check his video out. I'll link that below. Also, the Codex Cantina recently did a video talking about 7 short translated novels to sort of get you into it, and that video is fantastic because it sort of tells you which sort of reader would like each book, and he just does a fantastic job of sort of promoting the books to the readers that would like them. That was really badly explained, but I'll link his video below. Check that out also. Obviously, the International Booker happened this year, and so there are loads and loads of recommendations and reviews on channels like KD Books, Sarah at Freshly Read Books, Bob the Bookerer. You will find lots and lots of fantastic translated recommendations on all of those channels. And I think that's all I have for today. So I also did my own sort of translated books on my TBR video last year, which was one of my first videos, so it's a little bit ropey, but you can check that out here, and I will see you very soon with another one. Bye guys.